Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is RemovableSanity, and today I'm reviewing Conscript on the Series X, developed by Catchweight Studio and published by Team 17. So what is Conscript? Conscript is a pixel art isometric survival horror game inspired by the classics of the genre, set in the 1916 during the Great War. The premise is you play as a French soldier searching for his missing in action brother during the Battle of Verdun. Search twisted trenches, navigate overrun forts, and cross no man's land to find him and ensure a home goes unbroken. The game boasts various difficulty settings, multiple endings, unlockable costumes, and bonus weapons. First up is accessibility. With regards to accessibility, there's a vast swathe of options available for all. Button remapping, run mode, and aim mode, screen shake are all available. An accessibility tab with text speed, gore, highlight color options all exist. Even unlimited saves and checkpoints within the difficulty options push this game to be as accessible as widely as possible. The only thing missing for me was subtitle size, so those with limited eyesight may find this a bit difficult to read. Next up is gameplay. Conscript is a unique take on the classic survival horror that ditches the usual monster-infused enemies and takes on a much more human and darker approach. Set during World.War.I, the horrors you will meet in this dark and disturbing story are your fellow man from the opposing side. The game, right from the beginning, throws you into said horror with an attack on the trench that you are defending. Here, it gives you the basics of combats, weapons, and its more strategic elements in a short but brutal fashion. Enemy soldiers can vary from individuals to groups, with the latter being more dangerous and less likely you will survive. The game is more designed around tension and atmosphere than straight out shock and horror. Not saying there aren't those moments, but they are the exception rather than the rule. Soldiers will stalk the corridors and arenas ready at a moment's notice to attack you, and once they do spot you, they sprint full pelt at you before taking a swing with their clubs, or aiming down a rifle before letting off a calculated shot. You can sprint past them or hide from them, but this then doesn't help you later on when you return to said area, so they are always in your mind should you decide to go for the latter. But why would you do something like that? Well, just like the enemies, combat isn't easy, and a singular enemies can wipe out your health in a matter of hits. Whilst their swings and rifle shots are a bit slow, so equally is yours. Swinging your melee weapon takes a lot of stamina and will take more than a couple of swings to down an enemy. Moving to firearms is no better, as you are needing to stop and reload manually, which is equally a slow and painful process. In essence, you quickly learn to try and lure away individuals from a pack or just straight out run away. Even when you do get better weapons the more you progress, they never felt too overpowered, and those that do have little to no ammo, ensuring that you use it wisely and sparingly. Further into the game, dead bodies will attract rats, the bane of my existence, as not only do they do small amounts of damage, but they poison you. Until you're able to collapse their small tunnels, they'll enjoy the pile of corpses you leave behind and continue to keep respawning. Your best bet is to kill them with a gun, then take out their tunnels with a grenade. Firearms can also be upgraded using gun parts to pack more of a punch, and these are found at vendors hidden around the maps. Vendors also provide you trade items, with cigarettes being the currency, which will often be found in boxes or barrels scattered around the levels. Your long-term storage box is also here, identical to that to a typical Resident Evil genre, and just like that genre, your personal storage, the satchel, has limited slots. Though from the beginning you can purchase more storage for your satchel should you find enough currency. No survival horror game is complete without its locked doors and puzzles, and thankfully they are equally plentiful here. However, they were never overly complicated and often gave you pretty big hints where to go or what to look for. For example, one locked door required you to match up the correct symbols with a guide hanging on the wall, and in the surrounding rooms was statues or items that looked like said symbols. I first played this game at WAS, so I was very much looking forward to expanding on my short journey I had there. And I can happily say I'm glad I have, as what is here is very much a unique and enjoyable experience from a single developer who I can see going on to do some even better things. Next up is graphics. Having a survival horror game in a pixel art form with an isometric view is something rare. In fact, the closest similar type of game to this would be Signalis, which I would also heartily recommend. Combine this being set in World.War.1 and you have something I don't think many people have played before. The game has a vast selection of atmospheric areas that showcases off that unique art style to its fullest. From heavily shelled bunkers, body-ridden trenches, underground tunnels and beautiful cottages, each area delights as well as horrifies. Darkness as well as subtle light oozes heightened tension and despair at every corner, pushing you to go back when you know you need to move forward. Character models is what truly blew me away though, as they are so smooth in their movement, it felt like someone had used body capture to get every motion perfect. This also plays well into the story, as the graphical fidelity works to the advantage in its telling of an ordinary soldier stuck in something truly horrendous. As you make your way around, you'll see fellow soldiers losing their minds, suffering from PTSD that hits somehow harder than other titles set in this time period. Finding family pictures of the dead NPC you just killed hits a lot more than I expect, and it's this level of passion showing war from all sides and the hell of what it is about that marks this above others set in its time period. From propaganda posters to chess games never completed to letters that will never reach their loved ones, the story showcases off the worst of humanity, but also allows a little light of hope. The plot is built into chapters that also weave in the past and present, creating a stark contrast between the peaceful countryside and the darkness of that war relishes in. It's this attention to detail as you make your way through the game that will play in your mind when the final chapter hits. Lighting also is equally well suited with vast areas hidden from your view, but can be increased, say, with the use of a torch. Your view is always restricted in the darker areas, which only adds to the tension. Combine this with the ever subtle threat of an enemy and it does ramp up your nerves. Other subtle things like a restricted goggle view when putting on the gas mask takes on its own risk and reward status. You know in doing so you are safe from the gas, but hindered in seeing enemies lurking close by. From what I could tell, there was no tearing or frame skips, and everything was smooth as butter. Loading times aren't too bad either, but things can always be improved. Finally, its sound. The game has no voice work, with the story and interactions preferred to be told by subtitles, which suits the game's unnerving feel. The sound work is just amazing, and the noise of bullets flying overhead, explosions, cries from fellow soldiers, as well as your own breath and heartbeat pounding away is truly memorable. The music equally excels as it blends those sounds of explosions, screams and death cries with a deeply unpleasant and disturbing score by the composer Sonny Gusti. The combination of both emotional music beats, total silence and the character's own body sounds heighten every corner of this world. In terms of recommendation, a good quality headset will give you the best experience for the horror that awaits you. And this leads me on to the rating of the game. Now, I rate games in order of avoid, on sale, great purchase and must own. My rating for Conscript is a must own. The game's take on survival horror, being set in World War I, is an inspired choice, and it doesn't shy away from the more gruesome aspects, portraying the terror of what our grandfathers may have actually gone through. The game is currently priced on Xbox at £21.99, or approximately $22, and depending on your skill and patience would give you well over 10 plus hours worth of gameplay. Combine this with multiple endings, unlockable costumes, challenges and bonus weapons, and you can add another 10 plus to the mix. The fact that this game has been developed by one person over 7 years astounds me. This sort of polish, detail and enjoyment you think come from a much larger studio. The man-made horrors beyond art comprehension are on full display here, and is one worth your time experiencing. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's it. I do hope you like this review, and if you do, please like, share and subscribe if you so wish. And if you would like to put some notes or even just a comment in the comment section, I do like reading them. Anyway, have a great time gaming, and I'll see you all again soon.